let's go back to Danaher. You said you talked to him. Obviously, anybody that's listening would be like, John Danaher, I'm going to ask him about leg locks. And you said you guys talk a lot about branding and stuff like that. Like, what kind of things do you talk about, or what kind of advice is he giving you?
I think the biggest tip he ever gave me was when I first came back, because I was out of jiu-jitsu competition for like over 10 years, a long time. I was kind of over it in a sense, and
training, but stopped competing.
No, always training.
Okay.
Always training, always teaching, but just like over the fucking waiting around to do competitions, and I just wasn't into it. Anyway, I got the bug again, so I'm gonna go compete, John. I said, okay, yeah, do like 50 matches, and then we'll do this, do that. And I did a tournament. I obviously ran through a bunch of these guys, but the thing is, I was so excited, because you win. You fucking heel hook someone. You're like, oh man, these kids are 22-year-old kids. I'm like, yeah, boy. I'm like getting up. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I guess, and it fucking shocks people, and I'm slapping the mat. I'm not overly celebratory, but just enough where it's like I'm a beast. I'm gonna fuck up anyone in this tournament. I'm crushing anyone. And John's like, right now, Steven, you have the Mike Tyson thing going. Mike Tyson never made as much money when he was the bad guy as he did when he was the good guy. He's like, brands didn't want to work with him when he was doing this. Mm-hmm. They wanted to work with him when he was doing this. So we had talks. I was mentored by George St. Pierre for a lot of years as well. So we had these big sit downs where we go, little sit downs really, but it was like, what do you see me as? Do you see me as a Tyson, the McGregor, or the GSP? And he was very upfront. He said, Steven, when I sit with you since you were a boy, it was always, you're a nice guy. You're always really kind to your training partners. You never hurt anybody in the training room. You're considerate. GSP. And I was mentored by GSP since I was 16 years old, so it made logical sense to me. Mm-hmm. As you can see, Gordon took the McGregor path, which is arguably a more effective path for immediate, short-term like buying. And then the third is the Tyson. That's how John breaks it up. And then the Tyson thing is like, it intimidates people, and it may even get people talking, but it is a little off-putting. So if you go from one tournament where I'm like cranking legs and fucking getting up and fucking talking, and the next tournament I'm helping. And it was authentic, by the way. Yeah. It wasn't changing my personality. They both reside in me. But I decided to skew more towards, this was expected, and maybe treat people a little better, maybe be careful about how I present myself a little bit. Yeah. John really was the one that made me turn that over.
All right.
Present myself differently.